Hello everybody, Tony here reporting to you live from, well, the usual place I make my videos and stuff like that. Tonight I'm going to be talking about a game that was first released on the Sega Dreamcast in the year 2000 and then ported to the PlayStation 2 3 years later. Now, this trend here where Dreamcast games were ported to other consoles was pretty common back in the early 2000s. This was like around the time when Sega abandoned the Dreamcast and stuff like that, and it pretty much also started like around the time before Sega abandoned the Dreamcast as well. Like, there were quite a few Sega games that were ported to other consoles that were first appeared on the Dreamcast. We had games like Crazy Taxi, we had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, which had ports on the GameCube, as you know, Sonic Adventure DX Return, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and we also had 18-Wheeler, American Pro Trucker, just to name a few here. But today we're going to be looking at a game that I happened to stumble across when me being a gamer and stuff like that, and when I first saw this game, I was shocked at what kind of game it was, and shocked in a good way, and it pretty much became one of my favorite games of all time. And this game was first released on the Dreamcast in the year 2000, like I said, and then got ported to the PS2 3 years later. And what we got here is Space Channel 5 Special Edition for the PlayStation 2. And Space Channel 5 Special Edition is, when I first got this, I did not see the word Special Edition on the case. I just said because it was in small print, I was just only paying attention to the word Space Channel 5, and I picked it up and I thought it was going to be like a third-person action space shooter with a hot female protagonist like that. But then when I found out it was a rhythm-based game, I was like, rhythm-based game, because we already had games like Parappa the Rapper and Jammer Lammy out and stuff like that. So I was looking for, and Parappa the Rapper 2, flopped, so I was kind of looking for a rhythm-based game to have on the PlayStation 2, and this game here delivers. There are a couple problems with it that need to be worth talking about, but we're still going to this game is still great anyway. Now you're probably wondering, why is this a special edition? Well, this game not only comes with the original version of Space Channel 5, but it also comes with the Japanese only sequel at the time, Space Channel 5 Part 2, which made its North American debut in 2003 with Space Channel 5 Special Edition here, which we got right here. And since both these games are part of one package, we're going to be talking about both of them here, because I don't feel like breaking it up into parts here, because it's a part of the special edition and we're going to treat it like a special edition. But now that we got that out of the way, we're going to talk about Space Channel 5 first, then we'll talk about Part 2 afterwards. And in the Space Channel 5 series, you play as the hot news reporter Ulala, and for the show Ulala Swinging Report Show, where she is reporting from Spaceport 9 at first, when these aliens called the Maronians are forcing people to dance and stuff like that, and it's Ulala's job to defeat the aliens by copying their moves, by hitting buttons on the D-pad and on the controller and stuff like that, and she defeats it by... It's basically a game of, like Simon Says. They say up, you press up. They say down, you press down. And if they do left or right, you press left or right. And if they say kick or chew, you press X or circle and stuff like that to defeat the aliens or save civilians like that and such. And it's basically a very common game for the most part, but there is a problem in both the games that I will be talking about. And what is actually really cool about the Space Channel 5 games is that there is a character called Space Michael who was voiced by the late Michael Jackson, and this was the first time I ever learned about Michael Jackson voicing somebody in a video game, and it's really cool that we have the King of Pop himself voicing Space Michael, and very cool. And now, if there's one thing that the Space Channel 5, both the games work well, is the sound. In fact, I'll talk about the sound later, but let me talk a little bit about Space Channel 5 Part 2. Now, Space Channel 5 Part 2 was, like I said, was only released in Japan up till 2003 when it got its first North American release on the PlayStation 2. And Space Channel 5 Part 2 is basically leave the same song and dance and stuff like that, but it's got a little more variety to it and stuff like that. It's like you can play guitar, play drums, do some vocals on it too. It's really cool, and Ulala looks as hot as ever, and Ulala is definitely, in my opinion, one of my favorite Sega characters of all time, next to Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that. She's definitely the hottest Sega character of all time, and Sega did a great job with it and stuff like that. And both games are great, and you'll basically have a lot of fun with it. But now we gotta talk about the presentation here, and the presentation here for the most part is really good. Like, both games are pretty much on par with each other. I never played the Dreamcast version of Space Channel 5 because I don't own a Dreamcast, but I've seen videos on YouTube and stuff like that, that both versions look exactly alike. So if you own a Dreamcast version, then you're fine. But if you own the PS2 version, you're not missing out on anything either, because this version adds more because you get part 2 and stuff, which was only released in Japan and stuff, as I mentioned before. And the best thing about the graphics has to be the character model, especially the Ulala character model looks very detailed, and the frame rate is very smooth throughout the entire game. And I did not notice any slowdown at all, and I'm amazed at how smooth this game runs. It's probably one of the smoothest running PS2 games you'll ever have in your collection and stuff like that. But now, as we get into the sound for the most part is good, but I have a couple complaints with the sound, but we're going to talk about the good parts here. The music is definitely the best part. When you're talking about a rhythm-based game here, you cannot review a rhythm-based game without talking about the sound and about the music and stuff like that, and the music is fantastic. In the first game, we got a lot of these like poppy dance electronic tunes, especially their own rendition of the song Mexican Flyer and stuff like that, which pretty much serves as Ulala's theme and the theme songs of both Space Channel 5 games, which I had to point that out and stuff like that because like the song is just really catchy and stuff. It's a really catchy tune. And the second game here, has more like, it has a variety, like it's got some waltz tunes, some rock guitar tunes, got drum tunes, stuff like that. A great variety and stuff like that. But one complaint I gotta say about both games is the voice acting. The voice acting is awful. I wish they would have just kept in Japanese and put English subtitles instead. But the English, because the lip syncing does not match up to the English at all, and the English voice acting is pretty bad except for Ulala and Space Michael and stuff like that. They sound the best, but the other actors just, I didn't really care for them. I mean, if people like the voice acting, hey, more power to you. But I did not like the voice acting in either of the games. And since it's a special edition, I'm gonna be treating it as one game, like I said. Hashtag because they're made by Hashtag and Sega and stuff. Yeah, but now we gotta talk about the gameplay, which I kind of already talked about the gameplay here. But let me talk a little bit more about it. Like I said before, the game is basically like Simon Says. You do the commands of what they tell you to, stuff like that, and yet I should also mention the story of Space Channel 5 Part 2, where it involves the Rhythm Rogues and stuff like that this time instead of the Maronians, because like they're kind of doing the same thing as like the Maronians did and stuff like that, except for aliens. Instead of doing it against facing off with aliens, you're facing off with robots and stuff. So kind of cool variety. We go from aliens to robots there. But now we're gonna get into the gameplay, and like I said, that the game for the most part is very simple. It's basically like Simon Says. They say up, you push up. They say down, you press down, or left or right, or so like that. But I have one major complaint about the gameplay, and it's going to be a complaint for both games total. Sometimes your button commands will not register at all, even when you press the right button. Or if you're half a second early or half a second late, it'll register as the wrong note, and that is completely frustrating because you should not be having problems like something simple like this when you're pressing the right button and stuff. I mean, I know for the fact that there were times I was pressing the right button and it registered as wrong, and it turns out that like other people had this problem too. So it's not just my copy or my controls, because I have a bunch of PS2 controllers that I tried, and the same thing happened and stuff. So just to let you know, that's going to be the frustrating part. I mean, the games are pretty short, but after you beat it for the first time, you have these extra modes you can play through. Well, the story kind of changes and stuff like that too. You go to different rooms and stuff, because most of the levels are broken up into two parts and stuff like that. Where like the first level is always the same. The first part of the level is always the same no matter what, but like the second room changes and stuff like that when you do the extra mode and stuff like that. And when you're playing the extra mode and stuff like that, like mainly in the first game, Ulala will have this pink glow on her and stuff like that, because your rating will already be up to like 99% and stuff like that. And I actually have gotten it maxed all the way up to 100% in the first game and stuff like that. And I did beat both games, and it feels like an accomplishment when you beat them and stuff like that. It was almost like an accomplishment. It was almost like the same accomplishment I felt when I beat Jerry Lammy and stuff like that. So this definitely really. this definitely really felt good to beat and stuff like that because it was fun. This is how you make a rhythm-based game. Not like that shitty Guitar Hero or anything like that and stuff like that where you have to use a plastic controller and buy that bundle and stuff like that. Here, all you need is the controller and the buttons and stuff, and that's that. And I also forgot to mention in the second game, like there are times where you'll see lyrics pop up on the screen too, and stuff like that, and that's pretty cool. You can sing along with some of the songs too and stuff. And I wish more games had subtitles for like the songs and stuff, and it's really cool. I mean, I know I'm saying it's really cool a lot here, but it's definitely a lot of fun. But except for the frustrating part here and stuff, and I mean, a lot of people complain that the games are way too short and stuff like that, but I'll admit, yes, they are short, but they have tons of replay value to them, especially Space Channel 5 Part 2. I mean, after you beat the one-player mode, you also have this endurance mode. You can unlock more costumes too, and this is one of the games where I do like unlocking the extra costumes, and I haven't unlocked them all yet. But the endurance mode is a lot of fun, but I just don't really play it that much, but it's a lot of fun, but I enjoy it as much as I can. It's like that. I haven't gotten to 100% yet, but this guy here will definitely do it soon. And there's also a co-op multiplayer mode in Space Channel 5 Part 2, but it's not that great. I mean, you and another friend have to like take turns pressing the button commands. It just seemed a little bit awkward and stuff like that. I mean, I was hoping it'd be like a dual mode stuff like that where you and another player face off each other, but it doesn't work out well. I mean, like my buddy TTBurger and I did try the co-op in Space Channel 5 Part 2 a few years ago, and we didn't really like it. We were like scratching our heads wondering, this is the multiplayer? This is the multiplayer? We'll pass on that, and shout out to him and his girlfriend RHNurseGirl45 because they're cool people, and I'm glad they're doing well and stuff like that. In fact, they're actually going to be going to a wedding together for a friend of ours from high school is getting married this Saturday. So congrats to her, and like I hope my friends JJBrother88 and RHNurseGirl45 are doing well, and message to them, don't you two stop looking adorable now. But aside from that, though, there really isn't much else to say. I mean, the game can be frustrating, but you get 2 games for the price of 1, and this game was only 15 bucks when this came out. And that is a deal. 2 games for the price of 1, I'll definitely buy that any day. So what's my final rating here? If you do not own this game, and you own a PS2 or a Dreamcast, definitely pick this up. Hell, you can even play Space Channel 5 Part 2 on the PS3 and I think Xbox 360 and stuff like that too, like PSN and Xbox Live and stuff. So definitely check this game out. It's one of the best rhythm-based games of all time, and it's one of the best rhythm-based games for the PlayStation 2 and stuff like that. Due to the small complaints I had with it, I will not be giving it a perfect 10, but I'll be giving it a 9.5 out of 10 because the game is awesome, and I recommend you all to check it out. And you can find it on Amazon for a very cheap price, and that's pretty much all I gotta say. This is Tony reporting to you from our usual place. Peace and out, and there's more on the way.